feels like we just started the year, and here we are November 14th and talking about the holidays already. So for those of you that I have never met before, my name is Donna McDonald. I'm a national exec with Pampered Chef, and it is my honor to introduce Carolyn Rasmussen with you. Carolyn is a senior director. She started with us in 2011. She has career sales of over 400,000 and has personally invited 20 team members to her organization. Carolyn truly has a passion for organization. I can say that I've learned so much from so many of my team members, but Carolyn has brought me to a whole new level of staying organized in systems and things that I was truly afraid of trying. Carolyn is a great teacher and a mentor to help people to go into the uncomfortable range for them. So I have to say so many thanks to Carolyn for the things and the time that she has spent with me teaching me new systems. She is a mom of two boys, and she's very busy and has always balanced Pampered Chef alongside a very busy lifestyle. So Carolyn, thank you so much for joining us and sharing some of the systems and things that have worked for you in your business.
Thank you, Donna. Yes, so I've actually put a presentation together, which might shock some people. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll kind of walk through it to kind of keep me on task. I think I appear more organized than I feel. So a lot of times I feel like I'm just spinning a whole bunch of plates and trying to make sure none of them fall. So, but I'm sure most of you guys kind of feel that way as well. So can you guys see my presentation thingy? Good. Okay. So Donna went over some of this, but I wanted to show this is my family, and I even wore my Aggie sweatshirt, which I'll have to tell you guys, half of my wardrobe is maroon, so it's not hard to pick out a shirt. I did start in 2011, so that means if you want to do the math, that's coming up on 12 years this February. I've been married to my husband for 28 years. We met at Texas A&M. He was the TA for my COBOL class, my programming class. So that's, we go back quite a ways. I have a bachelor's in business and IT. It was called business systems back in the day, but now it's information technology. My boys are 20 and 17. So they've grown up with Pampered Chef. Donna's shaking her head. They were elementary and preschool when I started with Pampered Chef. The oldest is a junior at A&M, so we've got one there. He's studying to be an engineer. And Grant is my youngest, and he is plotting his path to get to A&M. So it gets harder every year. Our hobbies are A&M sports with lots and lots of football. Camping, we take our trailer and we see the US from the road, and state parks and national parks, and enjoying nature. Country music, kids activities. Both my boys did robotics in high school. And a ton of church too. So my gifts or my passion are technology, hence my background. And then also through Pampered Chef has become connecting and inspiring people. So I'm kind of going to bring that together a little bit in today's thing. It's got me a little bit nervous because normally I stick to technology, but I'm going to get a little touchy-feely and a little bit more conceptual this time, but we'll see how this goes. My why initially was why not? And then it was to get a housekeeper so I could stop cleaning toilets with two boys. And then now it has totally turned into Pampered Chef gives us the opportunity like no other to impact others on so many levels. So I'm in it to change lives. And that could simply be one recipe that they feel like they can cook successfully and have dinner around the table, because we cook all our meals. I mean, we eat all our meals at home, and I cook most of them. Or it could be changing their lives with the business. So that's kind of me, because I know a lot of y'all may not know who I am. So it's kind of funny how God works. And I started a new book. I listened to audibles in the car, and I started a new book, Selling in a Crisis. Kind of an appropriate book. It is a book about hardcore selling, like corporate selling, where you're worried about your job and getting laid off if you're not selling enough. But there's some really awesome nuggets. And the very first thing he comes out with is this quote: "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." Okay. I don't know about you guys, but right now I'm feeling like things are a little bit rocky and different. Okay. And I'm going to go over that in a minute. But the moral of the story is control what you can control. We know things are ever changing. So let's look at how we can improve on what we know works and how we can motivate our longtime consultants and our new consultants to be excited about their business. Okay. That's kind of where I feel like I'm at with my organization. I'm sure many of you kind of feel the same way. So how did we get here? Gotta keep moving my stuff because these things are in the way. But here's my theory. This is Carolyn's theory. This is not anything. This is just, I'm kind of a listener and an analytical person. And so what's happened? One, in my opinion, we've lost in-person connection. Those of you who've been around a while, everything was in person, right? We did in-person training. We had recipe nights. We had team nights. We had in-home parties. We were mostly together in person. Now it's flipped, okay? We're mostly virtual, and this is great geographically like this. I mean, we're all over the country and we get to hang out together. We get to share information together. But the bonds we built in person are harder over technology. You have to work harder. We do 1-hour meetings. People start to lose their attention span when you get about 45 minutes, they're starting to zone out. It's easy to skip a meeting or just mute and turn your screen off and do something else while you're listening, but you're there, right? We know how people who do that too. The consultants have lost connection as their why. I feel like, especially the new ones, those of us have been in it a while, connections still are part of our why, but I think some people are losing that as the why they do the business. So what happened? Well, we got lazy. When we first started the virtual world, Facebook was easy. It was fresh. It was new, no problems. People were seeing the posts. Everyone was there. Customers loved it. It was something we could do from anywhere. It was exciting. COVID hit and everything went digital. Thank goodness we were already there. People were shopping. We had challenges, but in some ways it was still easy and the sales were there and people were jumping on board and fish were jumping in our boat for some time, right? And online was the way to stay connected. Now we have a new normal. People are busier because for 2 years, their lives slowed down. And now they feel like they're so busy because they didn't do anything for 2 years. And people are growing weary of social media and buying is slowing down. So to put it plainly, our business is not as easy and our teams are not excited because it's hard and they don't have that connection to get the bigger picture. So we have something amazing. And if we can get our teams to work their business and find out their why outside of money, and now it's not on the screen. Oops, go back. It will be amazing on the other side of this slump. And that was one thing that this book started off with, is in times like this is when we get our grit, and this is when we find out who's willing to work it. But you know what? We're going to be back to the basics because we have to be. And when we get to the other side, we're going to be better prepared. Okay, so that's the message. I'm an eternal optimist, so I'm always looking for the silver lining. So my silver lining right now is this is our time to focus on making our businesses amazing. Okay, so what we've done is, this is one of the things I'm most proud of and what kind of started this as a topic. We have to get our teams excited again. I don't know about you guys, but our consultants are just unplugged and unconnected, and they're not doing the things, right? All the things, and we know the things to do, right? Make calls, get bookings, host coach, recruit, book again. It's not hard. It's not a rocket science, but they're not doing it. So we came up with this org challenge. So Lori Summers and I got on a call, and it's funny, you find your person and you can get on a call and you can solve all the world's problems in an hour. And so Lori and I do that a lot. And we were challenged with finding something to get our teams engaged. So we came up with this. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of click on this and see if I can, oh, look, it's working. Okay, so this is what we did. We came up with a list of 20 items, 20 tasks, 20 things they could do, and we put point values to it. Okay, if they get 300 points in October, 300 points in November, and 300 points in December, or just get 1,000 points total, they're going to get invited to a brunch cook along with Lori and I in January. Okay. Number one criteria, we didn't want to spend any more money on trying to incentivize our teams, right? Number two, we wanted something exciting, but we also wanted something long-term that they could actually continue to work on all the things. So we created the sheet, and this is things like do an in-person or live or Zoom party, because we know in-person's kind of coming back and it's exciting, but some people are afraid to do it. Go live on your Facebook page. I'm going to skip around a little bit. Every $100 in sales, you get 10 points. Add a new recruit, you get 200 points. Hold a recruiting two-way conversation. Participate in the nacho call. We have like our calls, our team calls. We're trying to get them on the calls. So I'm giving them points for just getting on the calls. But you guys know it's hard to get them on the calls. So I'm putting tasks on here that we're trying to get them to do. Do a fundraiser. Do fundraiser reach outs at 10 points for every reach out you do just for fundraisers. Participate in a vendor event. We have Facebook groups called Booking Maniacs and Recruiting Warriors. So I'm asking them, hey, can you post your great booking idea in there? So it's not all directors putting stuff in there. Just anything we could think of that was a task that we've been kind of, I don't know about you guys, but the directors sit around going, oh my gosh, I wish someone would do this. I wish our teams would start doing this. I wish our teams would understand this. So we made a list and we attached point values. One of them is the Turbo Recruiting Challenge. I know most of you guys have heard that. That's the 30 reach outs and for 3 days to get 3 recruits or whatever it is. So I actually put the words in here so they could do it too. And then I created a chart. Here's October's, it's a front and back, and then November's front and back, and they can tally their points. And we're working on this now, and Lori and I were going to come up with, we're looking at like TikTok videos and like some of those trendy breakfast things that you see, and we're going to do a cook along. Something fun and exciting, but it's just getting them to do the things, okay? Move my screen back. Okay, so that was the one thing we came up with, is just some sort of thing that's action-oriented, but back to the basics to get them excited about doing the basic things and showing up on calls and making reach outs. Something else I've started is every Thursday from 11:30 to 12:30, I'm on Zoom and I'm just sitting there waiting for someone to jump on. And I call it open office hours. Anyone's welcome. Any director or any consultant in my organization is welcome to join me. Most weeks, at least one person jumps on, and it's different every time. And this has really helped me build connection with people. And sometimes I get people I haven't talked to in quite a while jump on. And they can ask me anything they want, whether it's a technical, they want technology information or clarification, or they're bummed or they want to brainstorm. It doesn't matter. And if there's 3 people on there, we're all talking together. But if for 1 hour I'm on there, and if no one's there, I'm working, right? I'm just doing whatever I am at my desk. Yesterday, I started for the first time. It went really, really well. Is tech time. And I'm intentionally keeping this to just my organization because I want it small. This is going over stuff that we've gone over multiple times in big meetings, but it's too big for them to ask questions. So I'm keeping it for my organization. I am recording it, but I want it to be like 10 people on so they can ask the questions that they're frustrated with. We went over a bunch of stuff, but like I think I'm going to do it next week, and it's going to be a Q&A. Just you guys ask me whatever you want about tech. Now, here's the other big thing that has been an aha moment for me. Our consultants don't read. They don't keep up with what's going on. They don't know the schedule. Okay. So this isn't as important to them and their schedules as it is to us. So I have decided that I'm going to take it upon myself, and in multiple formats, I am going to send them our schedule every week. So I use Project Broadcast to send a text message, and I am getting my team members to my whole org to opt in. So I'm staying completely legal so that I don't have anybody upset with me. I have 47 people in my organization that have opted in. And I think that's pretty good because they have to actually want these text messages. I also email pretty much the same information to every consultant in my organization. I, of course, have my team Facebook group, and I put stuff there. I'm going to show you, I've played with a landing page in Project Broadcast. I'm changing something up, but then I also send daily reminders in Messenger. Okay, I have decided that I'm no longer going to complain that they're not paying attention, and I'm just going to feed them the information in any way possible so that maybe one of those ways will catch their attention. Now, this is the landing page I created. I finished this up last night. If there's typos and stuff, bear with me. It was at 11 o'clock last night. But I created a landing page. For those of you who have not jumped into Project Broadcast, landing pages are essentially a very simple website. Okay, but this is going to allow me to send way more information because Project Broadcast texts, you only have 1,025 characters, and it's really hard to get everything in there, especially with links. So I'm going to start sending this out, and I emailed this out because I got it done and I could email it really late, and I think they're going to like it. So what's happening, and I should change that, I should say this week. I was using an old template. Dates to remember: Monday, get on our nacho call. Thursday, I have my weekly office hours. Saturday, we have a ready, set, grow, but this isn't for everybody. You got to like ask to be in it. So text me for details, but at least they know there's something there. And if they're in it, they remember. I'm reminding them about the team challenge. You have to keep that in front of them. So I've got the Google Doc linked right here. On that team challenge, I forgot to mention one other thing we did is I created a sent share template. So every Monday, a reminder goes into our Facebook group. So all of the directors that are using that, I've shared with them that same template. So everyone's team pages has a reminder about that team challenge every day for the 3 months. Then I remind them, hey, we've got a group called Recruiting Warriors. Are you wanting some information on recruiting? And don't forget, this amazing quick kit is one more day. Booking Maniacs, go here for booking ideas. Then I put in all of the stuff. I don't know about you guys. I have to dig to find this myself. It is hard for me to keep track of what the home office is doing. So I'm going to take the time and then I'm going to send it to them. We're working on our leadership retreat. This is a carrot I'm going to dangle in front of them. We're invited team leaders. So, hey, if you want to come be in the in crowd, get it to a team leader, right? I'm trying to encourage them to start posting back in our team page, a do and tell. And then I've put in here tech time since I've kind of thrown that in. And then at the very bottom, I'm giving them the specials because I'm going to assume they're not reading that either. And reminding them about our team page. And then contact information. Okay. So just basically the moral of that story is get them any way you can. And just stop complaining that they're not reading and feed it to them because it's not important to them to go find it. We started doing mega party events for our organizations, but these are very heavy on demos and very light on posts. And we have directors all teaming up together to do the lives. It's $5 for each consultant to participate because we do a lot of prizes. Our customers are loving it. They love the prizes, they love the videos, and it gets our consultants excited, connected, and they're learning how to do live videos. Recognition, and this is something that I've really had to work on myself because it's something I very typically will put aside and not do it. But I'm going to start doing recognition multiple ways. And starting in 2023, I'm going to do a happy mail of some sort when they reach 750 each month. And this is my personal team. I'm not going to do that for the whole org. For the whole org, I'll do monthly top 10 in sales and monthly recruiters. I have a monthly newsletter that I do have an assistant sending out. I post in my Facebook group, Green by the 15th, and sales incentives like who earned $1,000 level of the free-for-all, and my banners. And I was going to show you guys my banners. If I can get this to let me switch. Where is it? It's right here. All these Zoom things are in the way. So like this is my organization banner. And I try to keep up with my directors as they turn green. And they're all on here. Elena's amazing and she's already over 15,000 in personal team sales. So she's silver, so like it actually delineates where they are, keeps in front of them all of our team goals and where we are. Then I have my personal team banner. So I'm team Sizzle, but then the Sizzlers are my personal team. And at least weekly, I try to update this, keeping them in where are we, and then each person that's gone green and how much they have, just kind of, hey, get a shout out, right? And when they're green by the 15th, I'll actually tag them in a post. So I'm really trying to build up recognition for them so that they feel connected to something bigger than them. Oh, it took me out of the presentation. So kind of to wrap it up, I think the moral of the story is let's work together as a team. I want my consultants and directors to feel part of something bigger. So I'm creating exciting ways to get back to the basics, because it doesn't matter. That's what works. I don't care what you call your party. The basics still are what we need to do. Find multiple ways to remind them. Reorganize both recognize both actions and results with a heavy dose on the actions. I don't want them to feel bad because the actions didn't result in what they wanted. And then create opportunities for them to connect. And that doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be hard and time consuming. It could be simply 1 hour a week that you're online, but create a chance to connect with your team so that they once again get to know you as a person. And that's it.
Well, Carolyn, that was amazing. They are truly very, very excited. And of course, what they want is your information and your documents. So if you can kind of figure out how to share that, because everyone, we really want to make sure we are not inundating our speakers with private requests for information, because obviously Carolyn put a lot of time already into this presentation. So we understand that. So Carolyn, however you feel that you best can share that information with me, and then I'll pass it on, to our team, and we can go from there. But here's your opportunity to ask questions. Does anyone, can you bring us over to gallery, Patty, so we can see if anyone wants to wave to ask a question?
I am muted. Okay, do you want me to take you guys off speaker mode? Okay.
That would be great.
Or spotlights or whatever. Okay.
Caroline, they would like to know the book that you started out with. What book did you read?
That first one I'm listening to is let me find it again. It is How to Selling in a Crisis. Sounds really, it's by Jeb Blount. I have to say, so far, he's actually the one reading it too, like presenting it, and he's a good speaker. So I'm enjoying listening to it. I get through a lot more books when I put it in the car than I do when I try to make time to read it. So again, you got to know when you read that and you're listening to it, that's from the standpoint of someone who's in corporate America selling, but there's so much that's applicable to us. We just don't have to worry that our jobs are going to go away.
Exactly. Thanks, Carol. Okay, questions? Anyone else? Other questions? Nancy Jo, was there anything else in the chat because you were watching that? You're muted now, Nancy.
They would love to know about, Bonnie wants to know about the project broadcast landing pages. Would you share the template bundle?
Yeah, I can share that bundle. And I'll share my presentation, is because as y'all saw, I made those links hot. So you can click on the links and get to my other documents.
That is so incredible that you're doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carolyn. That's
We have a saying around here, right? If everybody shares a little, we all learn a lot.
Well, I don't create a lot from scratch. I grab a lot because I don't do well with a blank sheet of paper. I do better with something that started. So I'm happy to share.
So yeah, Selling in a Crisis was the name of the book.
Yeah, sounds harsh, but it's actually good.
And remember, I know we had a little bit of confusion in the beginning is like where to find this link. Everything from this call is in the Facebook group. Okay, so the Monday morning Facebook group. Patty, do you have can you grab a screenshot of or bring us to that and share a screen so everyone can look at that Facebook group again? Because I think sometimes we talked about all the ways that there is to find information nowadays. So we want to make sure. So this is where you will find the information that Carolyn is going to share. So thanks, Christy. She posted it right in there. So grab that link, everyone. All right, other questions?
I actually have a question and a comment. A comment about Project Broadcast. If you guys are not in the Project Broadcast Pampered Chef Facebook group, make sure you join that because people put bundle codes in there all the time for landing pages, and landing pages are so easy, especially if you have a bundle code. Okay, my question, on your tech time, do you go into your tech time with something planned, or do you just people come with questions or want more information about something in particular? And do you do that weekly?
So this is brand new. I started it yesterday. So it's going to evolve. Yesterday. So what happened is on Monday, we had an amazing team gathering with an amazing speaker, and she went over some tech tools that she uses to stay organized. They were Google Calendar. They were Google Forms. It was Project Broadcast. It was Linktree. And it was super fast. And then a lot of people were like, whoa, wait a second. I need a deeper dive. I started yesterday in an hour and a half. I hit all of those. So again, it wasn't deep, but it was enough to get them to play. I'm a real proponent of playing with technology because that's where you learn with technology. Now, I think what I'm going to do is follow it up this Sunday. Sunday at 3 o'clock seems to be the easiest for all of us. I think I'm going to follow it up this Sunday with a lot of reminders this week for them to play. And then I'm just going to let them do a Q&A on Sunday. So I think it's going to evolve and kind of change. If something comes up one week and I need to do a deeper dive the next week, I'll do that. If it's something that I've introduced a lot of stuff and they're going to play, maybe the next week will just be a conversation of Q&A after they've played. I really want it to be a very open, free form, small group feel, because technology gets so overwhelming. And when you learn, as we know, we get on these calls, they're phenomenal. We're in a group with 2 screens worth of people, and you might have a ton of questions and you just really can't dive into the questions to the level that you want to, because we can't, and one question will spur another question, which will spur another question, which is how technology goes. So I'm hoping this becomes that arena for my team to just dive deeper and figure it out. I'm really good. You can send me to the Project Broadcast Facebook group or to the tutorials, and I can figure it out. And a lot of times I don't even read the tutorials. I figure it out on my own. And then I go, oh, I could have done it better if I actually read, because that's just how I am with technology. It makes sense to me. Some people need to be walked through, and sometimes they need to be walked through on their computer. So I'm trying just to kind of create that space.
All right. Thanks, Carolyn. All right. Do I see any more questions?
I just wanted to make a comment. I love the way you opened this morning. It was so on point about us, like what's really going on in our business. And I don't know if we want to take any time to go back to that first screen or second screen after you introduced your family with us having lost connections. I don't know if anyone else here, like I feel like you should be on a Pampered Chef webinar, or Pampered Chef themselves should be saying what you just said. And I don't know if it was from reading the book that the insight poured into you that the crisis, well, I wouldn't call it crisis. The change we're seeing is that people are craving face-to-face and connections. And when we lose the connections to the people on our team, we lose our team. Like, you know, it's not like going into an office where, you know, somebody's putting a birthday cake and, you know, you're in the break room together. We have to create that break room kind of thing. So I don't know if anybody else, like Patty, see, even Cindy said you hit it on the head. Bridget said, so anyway, Carolyn, I don't know if there's anybody else here like me. I just feel like that was like so insightful. And I'm sitting here going, you're right. So
That's funny because that was what I was most nervous about bringing. Sometimes I speak my mind and people don't want to hear what's in my mind. So I get a little nervous about doing that. It wasn't from any one thing. I'm a very analytical person. I take a lot of pieces of information and I try to formulate my own stuff. In addition, I listen to and read a lot of personal development. And I do have, you guys remember, I brought up last year the vision boards with Jody Wallace.
Mhm.
And by the way, a quick plug, she's doing them again. So if you need to be hooked up with that, she actually completely revamped it and it's a whole new thing. But anyway, so I spend a lot of time with Jody too. So I've got a lot of resources to dive into people's behavior. And I guess it kind of fascinates me. And so I psychoanalyze everybody for good or for bad. But it was just one of those things that kind of hit me over the head. And I don't know that it would work with someone who's a new consultant because they weren't here before. But it's those of us who were here before. And remember, my closest friends are still the ones that we got together with at Cindy's house, right? Or the ones we've gone on the trips with, right? Or the ones that we used to hang out with our cocktail at the reveal when we would reveal the new products. And I was like, guys, we are missing that. And also comes a little bit from church, because I don't know about you guys, our church is struggling to get people back, right? And what are people missing? It's easy to roll out of bed and turn on Zoom and watch worship. But what's the biggest thing about church? It's about community and being together. But if you don't have the habit, then you don't understand what you're missing. And so it all kind of came together with that. But I just feel like if we can get creative, I never felt disconnected during COVID because I had all of y'all on Zoom. I'm able to build relationships and connect on Zoom. But it's usually because I also, like Lori and I never talk on the phone. We always talk on Zoom. Okay. So it's usually because I use it I don't always use it in the Brady Bunch mode where we're all here. So I just felt like I would love to hear all of what my dog's going crazy.
Sherry Carr said she had a thought to add from a call. I'd love to hear what your insight was.
Shannon. Sure. And Carolyn, thank you. That was great. Great training today. Great insight. And I was feeling that way for my team, especially my leaders, actually, that they were kind of like feeling lost. And we had Kathy Cocazella chat with us on one of our weekly calls. And she really talked about, first of all, she said, especially legacy leaders, like many of us are, that just what you said, Carolyn, we know. I mean, we've been in people's kitchens. We've walked into people's homes. We've opened the door and greeted them and their dog and their kids and their husband and kind of created that relationship with the family as well as the host. So she was talking about, trying to bridge that over to Zoom. Of course, doing live parties again is easy, but bridging it to Zoom and to virtual things. Number one, what are you or we, whoever, what are you most excited about for the season? Is it the recipes? Is it the specials? Is it the sharing great tips and ideas? Figure out what you're super excited about, because as we know, Pampered Chef offers us so many things. Sorry, I have a cold, you guys. Those little ones, love the little ones, but they share sometimes more than we want. But figure out what it is you're passionate about, and then share that when you're working with people. So she said 3 things. When you're talking, your booking message should have 3 things in it. Like how fun this is going to be. And if you pick something you're excited about, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about the $99 stir fry pan, whatever it is that you're excited about, the first thing is it's going to be so fun. What we talk about, what I share, what we're going to do together is going to be so fun. And then the second thing is, here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to use this pan in 10 different ways. And then the third thing is what you're going to walk away with. You're going to walk away with 5 new one pot recipes or 12 new whatever. She said, try to use a number, because people think, if you're gonna learn new recipes is one thing, but if you're gonna learn 5 new recipes, it makes it a lot more important, feel a lot more important. So those 3 things, when you're talking about your booking message, how fun it's going to be. We're going to have so much fun together. What you're going to learn, and it can be whatever you're sharing, and then what you're going to walk away with. And then she uses the blog for what you're going to walk away with. You're going to walk away with 7 new recipes for leftover turkey. So there's a blog on all leftover turkey recipes. So I just thought that was really brilliant.
Poor Sherry, she's struggling there with her voice. Sorry. That's great. But Carolyn and I had a long conversation last week. And if you can bring them together just for the point of bringing them together, one of the things, it's not so much of always what you're training them on, but goes back to that connection. Let's just here's the bottom line. Let's get together and just put it out on the table. You don't want to have a negative call, but you can have a call about here's the challenge, here's the solution. Okay. Or just get together, just like we're doing this week, is let's just get together for a cocktail. Just come on, and we're going to talk about, family and Thanksgiving and just, again, trying to make that connection without it always being that we're training. So, so Carolyn, as you can see, is quite passionate about this. And I love that she kind of tied it into, here's how we can make those connections again.
I saw that several of them are like, my team is all over the country. We are too. I mean, I'm sitting in Texas, and Donna's over in Georgia, and Cindy's over in East Texas, and Lori's up in North Texas. And we're all over the place. And so I'm not saying we have to get together. If you can, I'm trying to figure out how we could do something for those that can drive to it for the spring launch. Okay. But if you can't get together, we have Zoom, right? We didn't have Zoom 5 years ago. We have Zoom where we can see them face to face. So we're going to try to do a happy hour with all the directors, where we're just going to sit there and talk about our Thanksgiving plans or whatever comes up, right? And it's not going to be training, because people are weary of getting on Zoom and being assigned a task or getting trained. So get creative on being connected. I promise you guys, if you would do office hours once a week, and it's not that hard to find an hour consistently in your schedule once a week, because you won't get your whole team at one time. You're going to get those sporadic people. And if no one shows up, no big deal. You're at your desk working anyway, right? I have my laptops over here, so I'll put my Zoom screen up over here so I can see. Usually they have to tell me because I'm focused here, and they're like, I'm here. Oh, okay. So I'll bring it back. But those one-on-one conversations that you didn't expect will start building connection too. And the tech time was kind of cool. I sent it out to my entire organization. There were consultants on there I have never, ever met before, and I really didn't even know their names. And they were excited. So I'm excited to finally reach some people that I normally don't, because people are hungry to learn tech. They're not hungry to talk to me about bookings. So get creative on things that you might try to get them connected with you as a person, even through technology, and then remind them over and over and over again, because it's not as important to them as it is to you.
Amen, sister.
Can I share something? So I had been doing the office hours like Carolyn talked about, and I was just doing them kind of random. If I knew I was going to be at my desk for the next hour and a half, I'd post on Facebook. I'd go live and say, hey, I'm on Zoom, come join me if you want. And then and I did it all different times. My team is, I have some 3 hours different than myself, obviously. So then I found that people, some of the team members would be sending me a message, hey, when are you going to do your next office hours? So then it was easy to turn into, well, how about a weekly coaching call. You know, if you feel like you have things that you want to talk about each week, or, you know, so let's schedule a weekly office call. So that has worked too. I think I have like 7 people on my team that have a time slot every week. I do make them fill out a little coaching form ahead of time, and I just send them a Google form to fill out so I know what they want to talk about. Excuse me, I have grandchildren too that give me those fun little things. But I love the idea of the office hours. So I would say if you haven't tried them, try them, and try them different times, you know, too. They don't always, a lot of people will say, oh, I can't do Tuesday at 7 p.m., you know, so then maybe, you know, you can kind of slide it around to see what, you know, can work for most people. But good job, Carolyn.
Thank you, Sherry. All right. Questions? Last chance. Patty, is that a question or is that a?
Yeah, and I'm muted. So I forgot what time the office hours were. Were they at night or were they during the day, Carolyn?
I do mine during lunch as best I can, just because it's really, my evenings start to get a little crazy since I still have one kid left at home. And a husband that wants dinner on the table, and then our team meetings. But I mean, I think the tech time on Sunday afternoon might create a similar, right? I got 2 different purposes, but I think it's going to wind up creating a similar solution, because I had people on that never get on because they work on Sunday at 3. So my intention is to build correct connection. I really don't care what they ask me about. So,
yeah, no, yeah, totally.
So I think my Thursday at 11:30 will work for a lot, and it really catches a lot more directors, especially the ones that are full-timers.
Mhm.
And then I think my tech time might catch the other ones on Sunday at 3. So just the 2 different topics will still create a scenario that I am happy with.
Yeah.
But do whatever works for you. I mean, it
Yeah.
still comes down to whatever your schedule will allow. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
always bend over backwards completely, and then you're frustrated because you're
Right.
doing everything for them on their schedule.
Right.
So
Right. You know, the problem with that is that everybody has a different schedule. You know, you could
Yeah.
say Thursdays would be great. Let's do tech time on Thursdays. We'll do it at 6, you know, and then you got somebody say, oh, you know, I can't do Thursdays. You know, my kids have something. And yeah, it's always something. I mean, you will never, ever have that perfect time for everybody. So yeah, you're right. But yeah, I guess.
and I'm always available. I try to tell my team that I'm always here for them. I try not to be strict on my hours. I like to be able to go to lunch with some old friends in the middle of the day. I like that I can go to networking in the mornings. I like that I can go to a school function. So I don't want my schedule to be rigid. I don't work as well of saying I only work 8 to 5. That's why I don't work 8 to 5. So therefore, I don't really have office hours that my team can only contact me at these times. So even when I'm at A&M at a football game weekend, I'll tell them, hey, I'm at football. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, but message me when you think about it. You know, I will still take messages whether I respond to you or not. So I really just try to be available. So those who can't make the fixed times, they know to reach out to me anytime, and then I will get to them. I don't respond to them typically while I'm at church on Sunday morning, but I'll get them on Sunday afternoon. Or if I'm at the football game, unless I'm irritated because A&M's losing again, I will not respond if I'm really into the game, you know. So I'm all over the place. I'm not very good with fixed. I think that helps. I'm
Yeah.
available.
Okay.
Thanks, Carolyn. Well, we so appreciate the inspiration first, and of course, the information. Again, everyone, please remember, don't message Carolyn privately. She will share all of her information with us, and Denise will post that with the replay. So you'll find everything right there in one place. And then if you do have some questions, you can just put your questions there. And Carolyn, you and I can kind of go back, you know, a little bit later and look at that. So
Yeah. Can I add?
Save the
Donna,
chat.
Yeah.
yeah, Donna, just so y'all know too, something I tried new and I don't think everybody's seen it yet. And it's already posted now. I have an after chat post. So that's a place that we can share comments and questions just about this call and kind of bounce ideas off of each other instead of having to message our speaker every week. So just to kind of build on that. So an after chat message for us to use.
Thank you, Denise. Appreciate that. All right. I would love for everyone to come off of mute so we could give Carolyn a big round of applause. She obviously worked very hard on that presentation. Thank
It's
you,
amazing.
Carolyn. It's awesome.
And
Carolyn, did you have one closing remark for us?
Well, I wanted to make sure that I had listed what everybody was asking for.
So
So
she's going to save the chat.
Yeah,
So that,
and I'll reach out to you to usually Carolyn for after to get
Okay.
everything to.
okay.
awesome. Well, good. Thank you
Do we
again,
wanna stop the
everyone. We'll look.
Oh, yeah, let me stop this recording. Oops. Oops.